and you get a delay, and you get a delay, and you get a delay, and everybody gets a delay. Because that's pretty much what's happening this summer. What's going on, you guys? James here with some real news, and as you might have already heard, Sony has pushed back, if not all, most of its movies this summer. It's kind of heartbreaking because, I mean, while I expected it, I don't know, every time I see a movie get delayed, it hurts because it just really hits home that, okay, 2020 is not going to be as busy of a year as I once thought. But anyway, before we get into that, if this is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James. Now, if you're wondering who that is, that's me, and I love talking all about movies. If you do too, go ahead and hit the big red button below and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to tap on the notification bell right next to it, just to stay up to date with new and hopefully good breaking news in the future. If you haven't seen it already, I dropped an awesome collaboration video with my good buddy Chris talking about Batman vs. Superman and me seeing the Ultimate Edition for the first time. Hint, it's much better than the theatrical cut. You can find the link for that in the description below, and if you haven't already seen it, go and watch Tiger King. It's insane. You'll understand. Okay guys, so let's hop right into the news, which comes your way via Variety, and they just wrote a huge article, but I'm gonna break down the list of movies that Sony has recently delayed from this year all the way to next year, and honestly, a couple of them have an indefinite date attached, and that's unfortunate. So let's go ahead and go from top to bottom. At the top, you have Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's moving from July 10th all the way to March 5th of next year. Then you have Jared Leto's Morbius, which is rumored to have the MCU Spidey, and it's something I'm really excited about. That's delayed from July 31st to March 19th of next year. Then you have the Uncharted video game adaptation film from March 5th, 2021 to October 8th, 2021. Then you have Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway from August 7th all the way to January 15th, 2021. And then there's this untitled Sony Marvel movie that was supposed to come out October 8th, 2021, and now it's indefinitely delayed. And that's the first of two that has been indefinitely delayed. The second film is Tom Hanks's Greyhound, and I originally thought it would be pushed back to next year, but I didn't think it would be postponed indefinitely. So there's a lot of question marks surrounding not only summer this year, but beyond. So as you can already imagine, summer is looking a little bleak for the box office, and if you're a fan of movies like me, boy, you can only imagine that if this virus doesn't go away in time, Wonder Woman and Black Widow might get pushed back even further than we thought. However, this could be Sony kind of playing it smart, thinking, okay, Black Widow and Wonder Woman 1984 are going to own the summer at this point. It doesn't seem that there are any other films that are going to really give it big competition other than Christopher Nolan's Tenet, maybe, but I think that's coming out a little bit later. But yeah, I definitely think Wonder Woman and Black Widow are going to rule summer this year if theaters are open. Now, if they're not and they get pushed back again, I'm being honest with you guys, I see all these movies that were listed getting a new release date again next year because things are going to keep shifting, and honestly, everything's revolving around Wonder Woman and Black Widow. Black Widow releases in August, and of course Wonder Woman gets its release in summer as well. There's no way any other film is going to want to compete, so there'll be more delays to come. Now, the first thing I thought of was, okay, so out of all these movies that Sony just delayed, which one has the most to gain? And I'm torn between Morbius and Uncharted. Uncharted simply for the fact that, listen, Sonic the Hedgehog did great in the box office. I mean, the movie is good, it's not amazing, but it is probably the best video game adaptation film I've seen. I mean, I know Mortal Kombat has that bit of nostalgia attached to it for me, but nah, I think Sonic is the most refined and it looks great, and the studio listened to the fans. So I think that's really a bright spot for this subgenre. And on top of that, Tom Holland is set to star in Uncharted as well. So it seems to me that there's a lot of scheduling conflicts as well, so they wanted to free up the cast and crew, and more time to work on this film is probably for the best because I love these video games. This series is one of my favorite action adventure series ever, and if they mess it up, I will be pretty sad. Now, the other film that I think has a lot to gain from this delay is Morbius. I mean, Jared Leto didn't look terrible in the trailer, and I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not the most confident about the film, but it getting delayed can only be good, I'm guessing, if they need to go back and reshoot whenever they can, or if they need to work a little bit more in post-production. And let's say they're done with everything. They've shot everything and all the editing is done and it's ready to hit theaters. This delay can only help it because it's not in such a crowded field. I mean, this year alone, you have what we're expecting is 2 MCU films and a Wonder Woman movie. Morbius might get lost in translation, and I think Venom 2 is also supposed to release this year. It hasn't been pushed back at all yet. And I say yet because that might still happen. But that's almost like superhero overload, and Morbius might get overshadowed by all of these titles which already have an established fan base of any sorts. I mean, trust me, Venom is awful, but they have, for some reason, a following. Yeah, I think Morbius has a lot to gain from this delay, simply for the fact that I won't have to compete with every other superhero movie in 2020. Now, I know I mentioned about this untitled Marvel-Sony collaboration film. I think that, one, it getting delayed indefinitely is not the worst thing in the world, because if it's untitled and not many people know the direction of the film and where it's going and when it might be dropped, better to not release any sort of date and just like let it float a little bit. It's a good surprise if it turns out to be what I think it might be, which is Spider-Woman. That would be really dope, but if not, then it might just be another lackadaisical collaboration, and you don't want that mixed in amidst everything. I mean, the 2020 films and the 2021 movies. It would be pretty dope though if it is Spider-Woman, because it's something different, and also what it does is kind of create this Spider-Verse that Sony and MCU kind of have been playing around with, and the idea is there. So yes, there you have it, you guys. This year, if and hopefully when movie theaters open, is gonna be ruled by Wonder Woman 1984 and Black Widow. So Sony decides to delay every single film in the summer, and I'm a little bummed because, honestly, Ghostbusters, man, it looks good. The trailer looks like Jason Reitman really has a good grasp of this franchise, and the Ghostbusters in 2016 was really bad. I'm really hoping this can kind of revive my interest in the franchise even a little bit, and it sucks that we're not getting it until next year. But hey, patience is a virtue, and not only that, it's better to be safe than sorry. I ain't trying to go out there and play with these nasties at these theaters, but whenever the doors open and if it's safe to go out again, I will definitely be there, because I cannot wait to go and experience a movie in the theater again. Alrighty, you guys, so there you have it. In the comments below, let me know what you guys think about these delays. Are you happy? Are you sad? What do you think this untitled Sony Marvel movie is gonna be? And which film do you think has the most to gain with their delay? If you haven't already, go ahead and like this video, share it with all of your friends, and go ahead and hit the big red button below and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to tap on the bell right next to it as well, and just stay up to date with everything we're doing here at the channel. Alrighty, you guys, again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.